There is a moment that every parent recognizes. The infant's eyes find yours across a room, and something passes between you that feels fundamental, as if a circuit has been completed. What is happening in that moment is not just tenderness or familiarity. It is, according to John Bowlby, the operation of one of the most ancient and powerful biological systems in the human repertoire, the attachment system, and the relationship it is building in those early months and years will leave its mark on every significant relationship that follows. John Bowlby was a British psychiatrist who, in the middle decades of the 20th century, proposed a theory that was radical in its implications and, to many of his contemporaries, deeply controversial. Bowlby argued that human beings, like other social primates, are biologically programmed to form strong, selective emotional bonds with specific caregivers, and that this bonding system evolved because it served a critical survival function for the helpless human infant. The infant who stays close to a protective adult is more likely to survive. The infant who screams and protests when separated from that adult is more likely to be retrieved. Attachment behaviors, proximity seeking, separation protest, using the caregiver as a safe haven under threat, and using them as a secure base for exploration, are not learned through reinforcement or the association of caregiving with feeding. They are species-typical behaviors rooted in the evolutionary biology of a highly social, slow-maturing primate. This was a significant departure from the dominant psychological thinking of Bowlby's era. The prevailing psychoanalytic view held that infants became attached to their mothers primarily because mothers were the source of food. The attachment relationship was secondary to feeding, a kind of emotional bonus that rode on the back of the infant's dependency for nourishment. Behaviorist learning theory made a similar claim. The caregiver became a conditioned stimulus for positive effect because of repeated association with the satisfaction of biological drives. Bowlby rejected both accounts. Drawing on ethology, the study of animal behavior in natural environments, he was particularly influenced by Konrad Lorenz's work on imprinting in birds and Harry Harlow's now famous experiments with infant rhesus monkeys in the late 1950s. Harlow's monkeys, when given the choice between a wire surrogate mother that provided food and a cloth surrogate mother that provided only physical comfort, spent the vast majority of their time clinging to the cloth mother, retreating to her when frightened, and using her as a secure base for exploration. Contact comfort, not feeding, was the basis of attachment. Bowlby saw in these findings powerful confirmation of his evolutionary account. Bowlby proposed that the attachment system is one of several behavioral control systems in human beings, all shaped by natural selection. Like the fear system or the exploratory system, the attachment system is activated by specific conditions: threat, illness, fatigue, or the absence of the attachment figure, and deactivated by others, specifically by proximity to and reassurance from the attachment figure. When the attachment system is activated, the infant's attention narrows to the caregiver and attachment behaviors. Crying, reaching, clinging, following, are deployed until proximity is achieved and security is restored. Only then does the exploratory system re-engage and the infant returns to investigating the world. This interplay between attachment and exploration is one of Bowlby's most elegant insights. The attachment relationship does not constrain the child's development. It enables it. The caregiver serves as a secure base from which the child can venture out to explore, knowing that safety is available if the world becomes too threatening. The quality of that secure base, whether it is reliably available, emotionally responsive, and physically accessible, determines how confidently and how broadly the child explores. And exploration, in the developmental context, is the mechanism through which competence, knowledge, and social understanding are built. Bowlby also argued that the attachment relationship generates what he called internal working models, mental representations of the self, the attachment figure, and the relationship between them. These models encode expectations about the availability and responsiveness of others, and they guide behavior in subsequent relationships throughout life. A child whose early attachment experience was characterized by reliable, sensitive caregiving builds an internal working model of others as trustworthy and of the self as worthy of care. A child whose early experience was characterized by inconsistency, neglect, or fear builds a very different set of expectations, and those expectations do not stay in childhood. Attachment theory is not a theory of determinism. Early experience is influential, not destiny. But the evidence accumulated since Bowlby's original formulations is clear. The quality of early attachment relationships predicts outcomes in peer relationships, romantic relationships, emotional regulation, and mental health across the lifespan. The first bond does not write the entire script, but it is, without question, the first draft. Subscribe to Psychology Theories Explained to explore more of the ideas that shape the modern mind.